Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon Wong Pickups.
Hey, it's me, Todd Novak. We are so happy that you are listening to our show today, and we've got somebody very special on the line.
This is Matt Needham, Needham Guitars.
That is right, out of Austin, Texas, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. Everybody who is new to the podcast, we just want to, I guess, just give a real brief, like, who the heck are we and what do we do? Who do we focus on? Tony.
We focus on the guitar industry.
And the small builders.
And the small builders, the boutique builders, and even some larger size.
Yeah, but mostly the boutique.
Yeah, we
builders.
like the boutique stuff because most of those folks are very approachable and anxious to tell their story.
And they're doing usually the most interesting things because they have no fear and nothing
They don't
to
have
lose.
to. They don't have to report to the man.
Yeah.
Nope, they are their own chairman.
They are the man.
That's
They
right.
are the man. Yeah. So that's what you're going to hear when you listen to the Guitar Knobs. And we are approaching, well, I guess we're at, by the time you're hearing this, we will have launched our 80th episode, which is not necessarily a milestone for anything really at all. But just letting you know, so that if you're like, hey, what can I hear more of these? Yeah, you can. And if you go to our website at theguitarknobs.com, we have all of them there. They are also streaming on YouTube and all of your other podcast device format phalanges. It's a word that
I didn't realize they had phalanges on the internet.
For whatever reason, I was just thinking of Rango.
Oh, Rango.
Yeah, it's the animated film with Johnny Depp is like this gecko lizard guy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
No, I haven't seen it.
And one of the characters is called Beans, and she goes, "Get your damn phalanges off my boots." And I love that. It's fantastic. Anyways, fantastic movie. If you
Welcome
get a
to the
chance see
podcast.
that.
If you haven't changed the flipped forward ahead.
Anyways, guys, we've got an awesome show for you. Hey, we've got an awesome show for you if you want to stick around and listen to the smooth sounds of Todd Novak telling you what's up in the guitar world, babies.
Play that slimy jazz.
Yeah. So, hey, really quick, I think that I may be alone. I doubt that I'm alone. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone because I've seen evidence of that in the form of sellouts. Sellouts in a good way, because I am way beyond excited, happy, over the moon that the announcement of the Smashing Pumpkins tour featuring the songs of Siamese Dream has been announced. And I just cannot wait for that. That is one of my absolute favorite albums of all time.
Original guys, right?
Arguably one of the
is our
greatest
buddy gonna
rock
be in it?
albums of all time.
Yes, he is.
Or is it back to Eha?
They're both
Well,
there.
they're both there.
They're both
both
involved.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
So Jeff Schroeder, who was on the show very early, because he's a total gearhead and a heck of a nice guy.
Super nice.
We had been talking over the internets on devices and things, and he said, "Hey, psst, there's something coming," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I think we're going to try to do something special for the podcast when that tour rolls into Columbus. So I'm really excited about that. But more importantly, as we're all gearing up for that, as often what happens is, when you find out the tour's coming, you start listening to more of the music, and the more you start listening to the music, the more you start wanting to play that music. And over at Reverb, they've got a special section on potent pairings on how to sound like the Smashing Pumpkins. Now, we know that Billy just released a pedal that basically is his sound in a box, which is great and nails some of those tones. But what about some of the other ones? What about some of the other ones like Crush in 1979 and stuff? These ones are all covered off in there, and they tell you what pedals to get and how to use them, how to pair them. Listen, it's not just Sherbrooke. Check out all the pedals. You go over to reverb.com under the news section, under potent pairings, and you can see for yourself. Mm-hmm. Super interesting. We look forward to talking with Jeff and hopefully the other guys. Boy, I would be super excited if we could get at least some of the rest of them, if not all of them, in here. I would be over the moon. I wouldn't know what to do myself. I might just not be able to talk.
You know,
anyways.
Well, that would be a miracle. Now,
I love their music. I remember when that music came out, 20-some years ago. I loved it, man.
It was
I would
incredible.
love to meet those guys.
I remember exactly where I was in the middle of the exact street in my car the very first time I heard Cherub Rock. That just
I don't think I had a license yet.
Blew my mind. I mean, I was already familiar with it with Gish and everything, but moving forward, hey, we also want to throw out a humongoid, gigantus thank you to Rode Microphones for providing us with the microphones that power our little podcast here, allowing us to record our thoughts, opinions, and nonsense on these Rode Procaster series microphones. They're excellent. They've been a great partner, and we are grateful to them for supporting our show and the guitar community.
and making us sound better.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes. Sounding better.
Not only the microphones, but this great hardware.
Yeah, all the stuff that goes with it. Yep. All right, everybody. What is going on in our music worlds today? Jared.
Very, very, very excited. So back in the late 90s, I got my very first Gibson Les Paul, and it was a black 1979 custom. And the back of the neck, all the finishes wore down to the wood. And that thing played like butter. I loved it. Hard times caused me to take it to the guitar shop and trade it in for cash. And I regretted it. Anyhow, I was at a guitar shop just the other day and saw this.
What guitar shop?
Well, that would be Lay's Guitar Repair in Akron,
The one time
Ohio.
you have the appropriate place to really plug that and you don't.
And who is it that you deal with at Lay's?
Dan Shin up at Lay's.
All right.
Anyway, I was in there. I was actually picking up that Stratocaster, which we'll talk about at a later time.
Oh, joy.
But, right. And this Les Paul on the wall it's like orange. It's nicotined out. I mean, it looks like somebody had it in a smoking room and just smoked and blew the smoke onto the guitar.
Yeah, it looks like the old test of it honestly, it looks like the inside of a cigarette filter.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the exact same color.
It is.
So to clarify, it's a natural finish one.
It was, or
Now it's
underneath the
now it's
nicotine.
orange.
You
It's
need
a
to paint
nicotine
the
finish.
back like black, like Mick Ronson's guitar.
Yes. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing plays like a dream. It's been worn in, honestly. Everything on it is just honest wear, and that's what I love about old guitars.
Yeah, and you got that for a killer price.
I did. I got that for hardly anything.
Now, is that a retop?
No,
No, it's a real deal.
that's a real. Everything is original on the guitar except for the I believe the buttons, the knobs. The knobs are not original, and the
What year
toggle
is it?
switch. It's a 79.
Dang.
All the pots and all the electronics check out. The bridge was changed. At one time there was a DiMarzio in it, but Dan put another T-top in it. But the neck pickup is original. But what I did was I put in a set of my own T-tops and without covers, and to me that looks way better than with the covers. So the guitar is looking awesome. And one thing I wanted to point out, which I was very surprised at, that I've never seen before.
Would you say you were very
I
surprised?
was super surprised, actually. My buddy Zach was checking it out, and he said, Jared, did you know this is a one-piece body? Because in those days, they're known as the pancake body. And Tony, can you just briefly explain
Yeah,
that?
they were. I don't know if they couldn't source or they were just buying less expensive mahogany. But they would take two, I don't know, maybe 3/4 inch pieces of mahogany and then
Glue 'em together.
Well, there was a piece of maple in between them,
Okay.
so they would make it. So if you look at the side of most of those Les Pauls, you see a line around the middle of it, and so that's why they're also known as pancakes.
Yeah, they're known as the pancake body.
Yeah.
That's what that line is then.
Yes.
Because it looks like it's like the top is cracked or something, but there's like a vertical line going across.
Well,
the
that's the top.
That's the top. We're talking about the side
side.
of the body.
All right.
Yeah. So this is a full piece, and I couldn't believe
It's
it.
a piece, all right.
It weighs a ton. This is every bit of 1979 Les Paul.
10.11 ounces, not the heaviest, but it's still heavy.
Pounds, you mean?
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. 10.11 pounds. Yep. 10 pounds, 11 ounces.
It weighs as much as my coffee?
I wish it did, buddy.
Yeah.
No, it's a great, smelly,
wrap the back out.
old, crazy, nicotined out guitar, and I love it.
That's cool. It is really unique looking.
It is.
Yeah, I will say that.
That is new in my world.
That's awesome. How about we get to Matt, our guest? What's going on in your
That
world,
would be
buddy?
nice.
Just working on my own guitars mostly. Been spending a lot of time this week trying to finish up the first of my double cutaway model.
Wow.
So I did kind of a mock-up prototype of it just to see how it would look, and once I got that the way I liked it, I used some good wood and I'm actually putting one together. So almost got that done. I'm really excited about that.
You have any photos up yet? We didn't see any on the.
There's some on Instagram of kind of the mock-up I did.
Oh.
It's a red double cutaway.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I like that. It's subtle.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into the word subtle later. That is the word. Awesome. Well, that's cool. We can't wait to learn a little bit more about that. Tony.
Holy moly, has this been a week? Holy moly.
All right.
So last time we got together.
Try to cram it into about 3.5 minutes.
See what I have to put up with?
2.5 minutes.
Oh, there we go. He's counting them down like an elevator. So last time we got together, we talked about a couple of things. And while we were talking to our guest, he had mentioned that on one of his Four on the Floor was a device called the Internet by Dwarfcraft Audio or Devices. Not that we weren't listening, but I pulled it up on my phone on Reverb of all places.
Right.
Yes.
And found one for an extremely good price. It turns out it's an early one.
Stolen.
And it is a cool pedal. Wooly, you definitely like to pick loud pedals.
Yeah. And that was Champion Lecky,
Champion
AKA
Lecky.
Wooly.
Yeah. And so it's got this crazy monster face thing on it, and where the knobs are its eyes. And it's got a thing called Google, which is the overdrive,
Right.
and Prawn, which is, I believe, it's a backwards spelling of another word that you go to the internet for.
Yes.
And that one is like it must be a 20 dB boost. It is just so over the top.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Actually the OD side is really good. It's really useful.
It should have just been a 12 dB boost.
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Hey, he's
All right.
very funny. So yeah, that's a cool pedal, and got it for a song. We also talked about maybe a week or two ago the Eastwood Ricky mandolin. It's Eastwood's take on the Rickenbacker 5002 mandolin. What are you giggling about?
Because there's like two people in the universe that were
Theirs might be more than
excited about that.
If you know if all of any of our listeners out there know what a Rickenbacker
Rickenbacker and a mandolin?
Yes, it is. So it's actually a cool little thing.
Yeah.
Eastwood did a phenomenal job.
It is pretty neat looking. It does look like a little Rickenbacker. I mean, it's cute.
Yeah. It's almost a dead on replica.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that
It would be cool to hear that plugged into some effects for sure.
Into the internet.
Yeah. Into the internet.
Play the
So, and also big thanks to Making Music up in Chicago, who apparently is a distributor for Eastwood in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
They boxed this is by far the best packing job I have ever seen, and especially for something this small. So it's basically, a mandolin is a small instrument. It's inside its own thick cardboard doubled up box. They put that inside another half guitar box, and I think
not much to break on that thing, and maybe they went a little overkill.
They went a little overkill, but I'd rather have it that way than have it come with the headstock snapped off.
Yeah.
But they did a great job, so shout out to those guys at Making Music. Good job. And lastly, and I wasn't even looking for this, but I just stumbled on it actually yesterday. A buddy of mine said, "Hey, I know a guy that's selling a G&L S500, which is basically a really nice Strat that G&L makes."
For the listeners who may not be familiar with G&L, can you elaborate on what G&L is?
Sure. G and L stands for George and Leo, George Fullerton, Leo Fender. So after Leo sold the company, Fender,
to CBS,
he had to sit out of the music industry as part of his agreement. And then he started a company called Music Man, making the guitars. Actually, okay. Well, we'll say
All right. Yeah,
we're going to start there. Was
the abbreviated history.
Okay, the abbreviated history is this. So let's just say that he was involved with making Music Man guitars.
Although we should probably do a podcast on maybe either offshoot. That would actually be a really good show, talking about offshoot brands.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great. Let's do that.
Okay.
I've been to G&L. I was just recently there. It's fantastic.
So
anyways, go on.
When things went awry at Music Man, Leo Fender started along with George Fullerton, who was a longtime employee at Fender.
He was one of the main designers, right?
He started off on the line, and he was there longer than Leo was after CBS took over.
Yeah,
but they started a company called G&L, also in Fullerton, California, and they made guitars that were similar but somewhat different,
but mostly similar,
but somewhat similar.
The lower bout was very similar.
Well, their first model was ASAT, ASAT. Some say that stood for as same as a telly. But the electronics were better. The hardware was definitely better. The finish work was considerably better.
They have a really great finish. Booth there. It's really great.
Now, I guess G&L is owned by BBE. And they continue in the same place, making really high quality. They're known for their finish work. But anyhow, long story short, I got it's just a smoking deal on this guitar. It's a beautiful instrument in Bel Air green.
You stole it.
Well, the guy was really nice. We discussed, and they actually. It turns out he knows some people that I do, and his birthday is the day before mine, and it's just it worked out really well. It was just one of those good deals. He was happy, I was extremely happy, and
you got a good deal because his birthday is not your birthday.
No, that came up afterwards. I texted him back and I said, "Hey, thanks again for the great deal on this." I told him the year that it was, which was 2002, and then he shot back some information, and he's, "Oh, I'm going to see so and so," and then he said, "Oh, and I share a birthday with Jimmy Page, which is January 9th. And I said, "Well, you're lucky. I share mine with Pat Benatar," which is January 10th.
Sweet. All right. Well,
but it's been a crazy week. It's just been this boom, bada boom, bada boom, bada boom.
All kinds of stuff. Bitty boom.
Bitty boom.
All right.
Sorry, I exceeded my
Matt,
3.5
you still there,
minutes.
buddy?
Yeah.
Okay,
Still
good.
here.
Well, since I went overtime, we probably don't need to talk to see what you're doing, Todd.
Probably not. It's probably
So, what's happening in your guitar world this week?
Here's something weird. It didn't go like crazy pants. But what I did was I took a couple guitars from my house and I just placed them in different places every day. So I'd move the guitars around every day. And what I found was, because I just wanted, I usually have them in a specific area. And what this allowed me to do, I've got 3 kids and, life is happening constantly there. Well, in order for me to play guitar, I either have to like go into the other room, pick a guitar, go plug it in, or if it's an acoustic, I do that. So I took 2 of my acoustics, and the only 2 acoustics I have, and I took those acoustics, and every day I just kind of placed them in different areas in the house. And what I found was I was playing so much more, even just like dinking around, just little noodling. And like I could sit there and they could tell me about their day and their homework and, whatever else. And I'd just be sitting there listening and, listening to them talk to each other and just kind of playing. And it was nice. It felt...
Seems kind of rude.
I know.
Yeah, who cares about your story? I'm jamming.
Yeah, do you know this song I'm playing?
Tell me more about your childhood. Yeah.
Smoke on the water.
Yeah.
And then Dad just played the guitar all the time and never listened to us.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, Eddie Van Halen does the same thing. He carries his guitar everywhere he goes in the house, even the bathroom. I mean,
I keep mine in the bathroom all the time.
right.
Yep.
No, seriously.
I know.
There's something to that. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think so. It was just I did it I wasn't consciously going, I got to try to play more guitar, but I was like, I wonder if I put these around, if I'll just take a little bit more time every week to just, fiddle around with them. So that was kind of nice. So if you're at home and you got your guitars and they're kind of in the same place all the time and you find yourself getting a little bit of a playing rut, just move them around a little bit.
If you have a large dog, though, be careful where you place them.
Or a small dog, because a small dog could get inside and
That's right.
Or pee on it.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyways.
All a concern.
Oh, man.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the floor.
Okay, man. Lay your 4 pedals on.
All right. Okay. First is pretty boring, but it's one I've always loved. The Boss TR2. Just love tremolo, and I've had a lot of different tremolo pedals, but that one's really always ends up being my favorite. It's really versatile and has a great sound, and I've just always been really happy with it.
You've been playing Boss for a long time, I take it?
Yeah, I've always kind of leaned towards Boss. I know it's kind of vanilla and bland in some people's eyes.
No, man. I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great. They're great pedals. They're like Hondas.
You'd be
or something,
hard pressed to find a guitar player that doesn't have a Boss pedal.
Right. True.
I have one.
There you go.
I've had a lot of different drum pedals. I've had a Voodoo Labs for a long time, and
that's a good one. I
I
sort
had
of
that purple stereo one.
yeah. What is that? That's the
Is that a Dunlop or?
tremulator. I think it's the tremulator.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's purple with kind of a wavy logo on it.
Yeah, with like gold lettering.
Yeah, that was a good one. I've had probably a half dozen of those, and I kind of settled on the
You like the Super Trem,
Super
right?
Trem. Yeah. That one sounded the most amp-like to me.
Yeah. Takes up a lot of space on the board, though, man.
Well,
Anyways.
get a bigger board.
Yeah, I guess so. But ding-a-dang-a-dong. Cool. So where is that? Is that one that you picked up like a long time ago, or is that like a newer purchase, or is that, is it cherished?
I think I've had, like most stuff, I've had 3 or 4 different versions of it. I'll buy it and sell it and rebuy it.
Yeah.
So it's nothing, not a cherished object or anything. It's just what I have right now.
Cool. All right. What do you got for number 2?
Number 2 is one from the 90s, the Dan Electro Dan Echo.
Oh, yeah. That gets cuffed.
No, it's a Dan, not the Cool Cat Echo, right?
Dan Echo.
The Dan.
No, the bigger one.
Oh, the one that's like a tape echo simulator.
Yeah. It looks like a car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not like it
It's
doesn't
real
it doesn't look like the shape of a
real
car.
corny looking.
Yeah.
The design.
Yeah. It's very cheesy, but it's really solid build, and I just like it. To me, it's one of the best sounding tape echo emulators. I just think it has a real nice sound to it. And again, I've had several of those. I just keep going back to them, and repurchasing that. It's a great pedal.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
It's good for the economy.
Yes. Number 3.
Yeah. I also, I really like, this is kind of a weird one, but Tech 21 Comp Torsion, which is compressor and distortion together.
Cool. Yeah.
I found one when I was working in a music store a long time ago, and just have always really liked that pedal.
How much of the distortion do you use with that? I mean, are you replacing your standard distortion with that, or is it just kind of a nice little extra bump?
Usually when I'm using it, I'm just using that pedal, so it'll be a lot usually, and just kind of messing with the different settings within that pedal.
Do you like a lot of compression, or are you just kind of kissing it with the compression?
Not typically when I'm using that a lot, just kind of maxing it out just for both sides of it.
Yeah.
It's something weird. But that's a great pedal. I always enjoy using that.
Cool. All right, round it out with number 4.
Okay. The number 4 I've actually never owned, but this is one I want to own, is the I've missed it a couple times and regret it. The K tremolo pedal. It's kind of like that orange K fuzz, that's like a wah that the Edge used, and Daniel Lanois uses them a lot, and he used the K tremolo pedal as well. But they're really, really cool. He used it all over the soundtrack to Sling Blade, if you've ever heard that.
Oh yeah.
And it's just basically just a crazy, sweep on the speed of the trem.
Those things, it's like die-cast metal, right? I mean, it's like, or not, sorry, die-cast
No, those
metals.
are plastic.
They're plastic?
That's it looks like a 50s kind of thing.
Yeah, they're really, really cheesy.
Really?
Cheesily made. I mean, they're very lightweight.
Not at all. It looks like super duper heavy.
Yeah.
I know it looks like you can knock somebody out with that thing.
Yeah.
No, it's like there's nothing to it.
That's bizarre.
That's cool.
It is. That is a really cool looking pedal. So essentially, for those who aren't familiar, I was not familiar with that pedal. It looks like a billeted piston head, essentially. Like header covers, or not header covers, but valve covers. Yeah, looks like billeted valve covers.
Yeah.
Right.
Off of an old
Something.
an old muscle car, but
That'd be cool to take the guts of that and put
it's
it
plastic.
in a metal housing.
Yeah, but it's,
Yeah, in
it's
fact,
a pedal,
I-
so you can sweep it.
Yeah.
It's so cheesy.
right,
It's so
exactly.
cheesy. It's cool though. I do like it.
Yeah. That's really cool, actually. Well, everybody's gonna have to, when they see the 4 on the 4 blog, they're gonna want to go check this one out, because
That's pretty cool.
I think I'm gonna look for
Funky.
one of those, man.
Yeah, I can see that at your house.
Yep.
On your keyboard.
You should get one of each of the color ones there.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Hey, look, there's an image of Alchemy Audio. So he's done one of those before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
So, and I guess so. With that said, if you do find one and have questions about it, you can hit up Alchemy Audio, and he'll maybe tell you how to fix it or mod it, because apparently he's done some of those.
Nice.
Our friend Johnny Balmer,
Oh,
Super
over at
great guy.
Alchemy Audio
Yep.
in Chicago. Cool, man. Well, that's 4 very interesting choices.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We are going to get on with the interview portion of things. Right, Tony?
I believe that is the protocol.
Is
I
that-
wanna hear
is that
about it.
next in the agenda?
Yeah, I want to hear about
I
the
concur.
pickups he uses.
Do you
man.
concur, Jared?
Yes, I do. I'm excited.
Okay. So we've got Matt Needham here of Needham Guitars. And let's just be transparent. This is probably not a household guitar name. I mean no ill will by saying that, but
None taken.
I think that's actually one of the more interesting things. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I love bringing to the front for our audience, the names that people don't know, because that's how we learn things and get turned on to things. Now, I saw your, let's see, we had interviewed Derek from Lincoln Guitars, who also makes just bonkers, amazing guitars.
He's a great dude.
Yeah, and solid dude. He's been on the show a couple times, and he's mentioned you a few times. And I believe you guys share a workspace, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Okay. Now, your guitars look nothing like each other and are pretty far away from each other on the spectrum, I would say. But what really, really turned me on about these is it was one of the few guitars that I saw that immediately I was drawn to. I saw something in it and I said, whoa, wait a minute. What's this? Specifically, the single cutaway with the trem on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's the EG1.
The EG1. I mean, you could have just said the one, right? I mean,
true.
But the EG stands for electric guitar.
Your extensive line. It would have actually been awesome if you would have done something like Yamaha, and gave it some ridiculously long number. Anyways,
you're making me rethink this now.
Yeah. So if you are anywhere near a computer while you're listening to this, I would, or your phone and you're not driving, go to Instagram and look up Needham Guitars. That's NEEDHAM Guitars. You've only got two basically.
Two models, yeah.
And you said you're working on.
Well, I mean, I'm working on a double cutaway right now. It's almost done. And then within the EG1, there's the two pickup and the single pickup.
Right. And a hardtail too.
I guess kind of like, yeah. I mean, it's the same model, but different variations on the same theme.
Yeah. I was sharing your guitars with our friend over at Lay's Guitar that we reference often. There's no kind of deal or anything. They're just good guys and they make good stuff and they do a good job. I was showing him. I said, hey, we're gonna have Needham Guitars on. He says, oh, I've never heard of them. What are they? And I showed him, and he paused. And the funny thing is, everybody that I've personally shown your guitars to have done the exact same thing. They just pause. It takes a minute because you've done something that I think is extremely difficult to do. I come from a design background, not product design, but graphic design, and so I'm keen to things that go into design. I've studied art and everything, and when you see something, especially in the guitar world, when you have a familiar shape or something that is super familiar within a product, but yet not. You somehow have been able to actually craft a very unique design out of one of the most recognizable guitar products in history. And that's partially like, on one hand, I was like, wow, that's an awesome looking guitar. I want it. And on the other hand, the other part of me was like, what a difficult task that was. And I was just really excited that you were able to do that from a design standpoint. We're looking at them right now, and some of the things that, it's kind of difficult to describe your particular guitars because it's not so much what it has, but what it doesn't.
Right.
You've essentially created an ultra minimalistic Les Paul, right?
Yeah, there's definitely some Fender, some Tele,
yeah. Well, when you look at the shape of the EG1, I mean, the single cut, most people go like, oh, that's a Les Paul.
Can I say a little tiny bit of Dan Electro?
Yeah, well, especially when you get to the headstock.
Definitely some Dano too. Yeah.
Yeah, there is some in that. You've got so on every aspect of the guitar. If you are thinking, if you're laying this next to any one of those guitars, a Tele, a Dan Electro, a Gibson Special, or even a Junior, old one, or a Les Paul, there are certain cues certain shapes, certain elements of the guitar that, the pickups, the pick guard, the horn shape, apparently the thickness of the guitar, every single element, you've said, okay, they've gone right. I'm going to go left, but just a little bit left. It seems like. I can continue to go on, but that will be incredibly boring, and I can see Tony fading.
Tell us more, Todd. How do you really feel about it?
I get excited about this stuff, and I want to share it, and I want to talk about it at length. And,
well, I want to talk about the details.
Yeah.
I guess you're a big picture guy.
I'm a big picture guy. I'm an all picture guy.
He likes pictures.
Yeah.
I just lack pictures. So I was kind of curious, one, about the pickups, and two, I noticed you're using Mastery, their bridge and trem.
Oh gosh, you have to.
And that's a beautiful addition. I wanted your opinion on those versus, like a typical, Jag or Jazzmaster Fender issue. But tell us about the pickups a little bit.
Okay, the pickups, mostly P90s. They're custom covers that I make, but they inside they fit a P90 shaped pickup. So I use a lot of standard P90s.
I'm sorry about that. I am bad about cutting in and asking questions. What material are you using for those covers?
So it's basically Bakelite, also called phenolic or garolite. Okay. But it's basically the same thing as the old timey Bakelite, but it's like you can mill it, you can cut it and sand on it. It doesn't melt like ABS plastic would, and it's much more dense. And it has it's just a different look and feel to it.
Yeah,
it's almost like ebony. When by the time you start working with it,
it doesn't wear down like the old Fender Bakelite, right? It's a lot more dense, so it probably holds up a lot better.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty hardy stuff. It can take a beating.
When you're talking about the actual, you've designed your own. For those who can't see it right now, a typical P90 is basically a rectangle.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit fatter, but usually just a black rectangle. Sometimes cream. Yours, you've put a subtle bow on the top and bottom of them,
on the longer part,
a subtle curved edge, and that's what I mean. Like, I'm so drawn to the little details in this, and that's exciting because you said I could just put P90s in here, but you did something a little bit different.
Yeah, that to me is that it just changes the whole look of the guitar. Kind of like, tires can change the whole look of a car, so to speak. I'm pretty impressed with that cover design.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it's important because you can just throw another set of soap bars on a guitar, but then it just looks
the same
like
as
so
everything
many other
else.
Guitars.
Right.
Yeah. So you really have to do something that sets the guitar apart, even if very subtly, like that pickup cover. It's nothing extreme, but it doesn't look like your typical
we said this at the beginning, and we weren't kidding. Subtlety, like you use subtlety like a sledgehammer. I know that sounds really weird to say, but every little decision is so subtle, but it's just good. It's good.
So how did you, in terms of, and this one has a trem, you have hardtail versions as well, but what made you settle on the Mastery as opposed to like a Bigsby or anything else like that?
Well, I've done a lot of Bigsby's in the past. I like Bigsby's. I'd never done that type of trim on a guitar before, the Mastery or the Jazz Master trim. So I just wanted to try it out. Derek Lincoln, who I share the shop with, uses them all the time, of course. So.
No,
I'll try one of these out instead.
They're really cool. I mean,
they're great. They're way so much better than the original.
Oh yeah,
Jazz Master Jaguar.
The bridges
units,
especially. So. Those are just incredible.
Yeah.
And it's not often that you see, again, as we're looking at this, the body itself is reminiscent of a single cutaway, Les Paul, but much more modern looking, much more like maybe a single cut Junior. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm still leaning more towards Dan Electro.
No, I'm just saying the body shape, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Anyways.
Jeez,
Tony.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, hey, when everybody else gets on here, let them decide. No, they can tell us what they see in this.
Put it on the Facebook thingy.
And you guys are all more friends of mine than you are, Tony. So do the right thing.
What was that? I heard some whispering going on.
But you wouldn't often see, you would not see
a Jazz Master trem
that's
on
what's neat about it.
So-called Les Paul shaped guitar.
Yeah, a single cutaway guitar. Let's just call it that. A single cutaway slab guitar. Something else that you are doing that's really interesting with these is your color choices. I mean, this is like it's like a primer gray, but it's not boring primer gray. It's a modern gray, and I never thought that I would say, "Ooh, I want a gray guitar. I want that guitar." Right. Like that. That's awesome. What made you? Nice. What made you sort of say, colors? Nope.
I guess it's just trying to do something different. I mean, I love all the classic colors. I love, gaudy, crazy colors, but I don't know, it's been done. So I thought, why not go and kind of rein it in and see where that goes, rather than just, going over the top.
What are you shooting? Are you, do you use celluloid or nitro, or are you doing a poly?
No, it's a polyurethane, just like an automotive finish.
Okay.
Nitrocellulose is a nice finish, but it is so toxic. It's really awful.
Oh, it tastes good though.
Even after it's, it's terrible. Even after it's dried, it gases off forever, and it starts to make me sick almost immediately to be around it. And I just can't use it.
Well, you're right. Once poly cures, I mean, you can hit it with a sander and really smooth things out, and it polishes up like that. And if you shoot it thin enough,
poly gets a bad rap because it's not really that much different than nitro lacquer, but people use it differently. The big factories, they just pile it on.
Yep.
And then they love rather than doing a really good finish sanding before paint, they just lay the paint on and then kind of sculpt the shape out of the paint. Because you can do that with poly, but you don't want to do that. If you use it, if you prep it properly, you sand your guitar beforehand properly, and then do a light coat. I mean, it's a great finish. It's not a substandard finish like some people want to make it out to be.
Yeah, I would agree. And it almost starts, I think that's the thing that people have a problem with, is that when they lay it on so thick, it starts to make the guitar look cheap. And yours definitely do not look cheap. You've done some in almost like a dark dolphin gray, and not quite a military green, but almost like a sage. Which, again, those are non-common colors for a guitar. Like this,
right?
I'm just so excited that you did something different. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, great. I'm glad you like it. I mean, that's the idea, something that, especially with the guitars being so simple and so minimal, I feel like you need something else to kind of
your choices have to
make
be
it pop,
very good choice. When you take something and you make it so simple, the choices have to be spun on. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Maybe one of the reasons that I am drawn to these, I worked in a Porsche restoration shop when I was younger, with almost exclusively the 356s, Spiders, etc. Okay, and the beauty of those cars, it's funny because some people look at it and they say that's a goofy looking car, or that's boring, or that's simple, or that bleh, right? The bathtub. This looks like they call them the bathtubs.
Right.
When you spend a little bit of time and you see up close the design decisions that were made, just the subtle roll of an edge of a deck lid, it will bring you to tears. I mean, it's really impressive, and it's the reason that they still are like so much money, and where people just are so obsessed with them. But what my point is that in its simplicity, they had to those decisions are calculated and very thoughtful, and that's what makes the harmony of that entire piece in its simplicity so.
Put the extra roll on the hood. What is wrong with you?
What?
That's in the Porsche factory.
Yeah, come on, man.
Anyways, okay, so
Give me the sandpaper.
Yes. Let's see here. What else? You've got some. Now, are you doing anything with the hardware on here? Let's talk about the hardware. Where's that kind of stemming from?
Oh, that's typically aluminum, and that's by ABM, which is a German company.
Speaking of German companies,
and yeah,
make it out of aluminum.
They're fantastic. Man, the design and engineering that comes from there is just insane.
It always has been.
Does that one? It's a compensated wraparound? Is that right?
It does look like
it's a non-adjustable.
Yeah,
non-adjustable compensated wraparound, and it's really beautifully made. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They make an adjustable one as well, which is really nice. I just kind of a little partial to the non-adjustable. I know it's not everyone's taste, but
as long as you're not using wild variations in strings, I mean, it's
I mean, I think
third.
most people would be surprised. Most people would be surprised at how close those get. I mean, they are really close without having to adjust each string individually.
The first one that I ever did see was the white one. I don't know. White guitar is just it's. Some people love white guitars. Some people really don't like white guitars because white doesn't show curves off and show edges off well. It doesn't capture the light as well. And
However, it does show age. It shows how much it's been played.
Yeah.
And it shows, what it's been through. So, I mean, there's goods and bads about it. I like white.
I mean, I like this one. You've got a unique toggle that, on there as well. Is that also from that? What's the company? ABM? What was it?
ABM, yeah. No, that actually, that switch tip I get from TV Jones.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Tony, are you familiar with those?
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Have I offended?
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but there's what do you call those? Are those like? Would you call that like a barrel top?
Barrel top, yeah.
Barrel top.
Yeah.
I just made that up. Did I get it right?
I don't know.
Kind of Gretchy, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost looks like
it looks like a little like a piston.
Yeah, exactly.
Traveling the length of the guitars here, just looking at different aspects of it, and I think we're going to get to the most.
The headstock.
The headstock. Although it's cool because it's just offset and you've got really great
machine
heads on there. Yeah. What are those from?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Those are by Shirtler, which is a Swiss company, I believe.
Where did you find something like this? What made you say these ones? For those who aren't being able to say, let me just explain these a little bit. They're it's an oval back, pretty heavy duty looking, but it's a nice combo because it's modern in its heavy dutiness. But it's open back gears, right, Tony?
Open back gears.
Yeah.
Open back gears with brass.
Right. So it looks finished, even though it's open back. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's a combination of chrome, black, and brass. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, I've always liked open back tuners. There's something cool about being able to see it turn.
Yeah.
Like the precision of it is cool, and especially like those because they don't look like anything else. They're
those oval base plates are really
cool. Very simple. Yeah, very simple but very unique. One thing I've always tried to do with these is use as much as possible different and unique parts, but parts that could have existed, in the late 40s, early 50s. They're not any kind of technology or anything that's new. These weren't around, obviously, but they could have been. This guitar could have existed in that time period alongside all those other guitars, but so in that sense, it's kind of like a vintage guitar, but it is modern as well. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. Now, headstocks are obviously where a lot of guitar run into problems. Like the voice that they're going for gets rutted.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah.
You've seen
you'll see a guitar and you think, oh man, that guitar's great, and then you get up to the headstock and it's just like you said, they just lose it because they can't. It's a tough one, man. It's really, really tough to do headstocks.
Yeah, but you've done one that is absolutely fitting to the voices of your design choices. Walk us through going about getting to that.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I can remember the exact origins of it. That's just something I've been sitting on for years, and just did a lot of different variations of, and on paper, and then finally cut some out, and then finally got to where it's at. It took a long time. I don't remember exactly where it started.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gone through and we've been, pretty explicit about a lot of the details and stuff, probably to a fault. So hopefully everybody's still sticking with us. But we're just really geeking out on these because it's hard to do something unique. It's even harder to do something unique that doesn't look like you tried really hard to make something unique. Where does this stem from? How did you go about deciding, I'm going to make a guitar and I'm going to make it in this manner?
I think probably about 10 years ago, I started really getting into kind of as an enthusiast into architecture and design. And once I started really exploring some of the different things that had happened with that, I think that's when I kind of had this idea of combining this sensibility of classic design and sort of revamping the electric guitar, like a classic electric guitar, but with a sort of a high design, minimalist design to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's something I've been working on for quite a while, and
how long is quite a while for you?
4 or 5 years probably that I kind of spent thinking about it. And
so you weren't drawing on your PG folder back in junior high and with
No. Okay. No, not that long. No.
Someday I'm gonna make a postmodern guitar that nobody's seen.
Right. No. And then really like the last year and a half to 2 years where I've really working it out and trying to make that idea work. I feel pretty good about it. It's like you were saying, it's very simple, but the amount of drawings and different iterations it's gone through is just crazy, to try to finally get to where it's at. It's taken me a long time anyway. I don't know how long it would take a proper designer to do, but it took me a long time to just get it how I like it.
You've got one picture up on Instagram where it's leaning up against an Otis amp. And it's very early 50s, maybe even late 40s looking, and it looks natural there. You could absolutely see like the Arctic Monkeys using this, or the Hives, even like that black and white one. I mean, totally see them using it, and then that's full on modern punk, which is really interesting. Again, somehow you managed to pull a unicorn out of here,
right? Well, that's kind of the hope too, that that it's sort of this blank slate, that there's nothing really projected on it, like a lot of the classic guitars, or have certain associations with them, and trying to do this thing that anyone could attach themselves to, and hopefully also make you play different or play something different that you might not on another guitar. That's the goal. Whether or not that's achieved, I don't know, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of things that are old or look old almost tend to look a little bit precious. I guess. Yeah. A little like even that Otis amp. It's like you wouldn't want to take it out of your living room.
You don't want something to be nostalgic. You want it. Like, I feel like this reaches into the past, but it's not in a fake way, you're saying. It's not artificial. It's not overly nostalgic, I hope it isn't,
No. It's its own thing.
The photo that Todd's talking about, that could easily, if there was a history of the electric guitar and amp, from the 1950s, you could see that just right there.
Yeah. And then you have a counterpart sitting right next to a PV amp, exactly. It looks like full on rock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, except for
I used
the
to have
PV amp.
everybody, hey, those things still are workhorses, man.
Right.
Which Tony, you know that.
Made in USA.
Cool, man. Well, so what are your plans like moving forward with these? Like, what you're working on a new model, a double cutaway.
I'd like to do an offset. And I've got a lot of different drawings that I've been working on. I don't have that quite to where I want it yet. I would also like to do maybe a reverse offset, something.
Oh. As you are developing this latest guitar, make sure you throw them up on our Facebook group so everybody can check them out. We are going to get on with our segment.
Would you rather?
Wait, what was it? Jim Neighbors. You got a little bit of.
Golly!
Oh my goodness!
That's just.
Would you rather have?
Okay, man. Would you rather own an Epiphone Casino, or would you rather own an ES 335?
Casino.
Fully hollow body,
Sunburst.
trapeze tailpiece, P90 pickups, metal dog ear covers, or an ES 335 center block, stop bar tailpiece, worth more money,
And humbuckers. Yep. In 65, you either got nickel or chrome because that was a transitional year. Wow. And most of the time, all the ABR1 bridges were still always nickel at that time.
All right.
Just subtle details, because we talked about subtleties.
I'm going to go with the Casino. I like Casinos. I think they're cool guitars. They're definitely a totally different breed than a 335. If money were an object and someone said, hey, would you rather have this or this? I'd probably take the 335.
Oh, sure.
But, in this case, this is all...
It's fun.
It's just for fun.
Right.
So I'm going with the Casino.
Yeah.
Todd, what do you want?
I'm going with the Casino too. For sure. It's just cool. It's cool. I like it, and I'll get it, and I'm going to put a split trapeze tailpiece on it.
And mini humbuckers.
It's cool. But I also like the P90 in that. I would rather have that, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm going to go ES335. The humbuckers, there was a big... I know all about that and the transitional period that Gibson was going through. And...
So were those the what you would call T-tops, or those are patent numbers?
They're still patent number PAFs.
Okay.
And they're, gosh, if you take them out and you sell them alone, you'll get, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 just for the set of pickups.
Whoa.
It's crazy. But that's, and they're a very common model, the ES335, and because it was a great model. It was a great player. It wasn't big and flashy like the two upper models above it, but
Yeah.
it was just a great guitar.
Yeah, I was talking about pickups. Did they make two different sizes for the bridge and the neck, or were they the same?
Not on that model.
Okay.
But they did make a narrow space PAF at one time.
Okay.
And you saw those on like Barney Kessels.
Right.
But not the ES335.
I was totally going to say that.
Right.
Matt, what are you thinking?
Casino, definitely.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah. I like they're really hip. They're super light. They sound really good unplugged. They got a lot of acoustic projection to them. The P90s, the trapeze piece. It's a hip guitar. I like that a lot better than 335.
And it's one of the only ones that I could actually say with a white pickguard, I'm cool with. Honestly, like, I can't think of another guitar that has a white pickguard that I'm like, yeah, that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It's just, it somehow, it fits with that.
The big E down by the
big E.
the roundabout
Yeah.
lower part of
I like it. I like it a lot. Ooh, doggies. All right, everybody. Tony, let's not make this a novel. All right? This
A
is not
novel or make
telenovela.
it novel.
You can make it novel. Don't make it a novel.
Settle in, everybody.
Yes.
We like to thank some very special people.
Our executive producers. Who are they?
Executive producers, if you will. Mm-hmm. They support our podcast.
They get to have their name read on the thing.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to read the names on the thing.
Okay, do it.
I'd like to welcome aboard Mr. Darren Gregory.
Thank you, Darren.
Yes,
Thank you
welcome,
very much.
my friend.
Welcome. You're joined in noble company with Alex Leggett, Robert Marfleet, John Anglin, Chris Kearney, Sean S. Oliver Gonzalez, John Daly, Robin Smith, Derek Fitzer, Pete Marshall, Carlos Mancha, Matt Brammer, David Wolfson, Martin Cliff, and Tom Barazin.
That is correct.
So if you, and I'm talking to you, if you want to become an executive producer, head over to patreon.com /
Guitar knobs.
the Guitar Knobs. Find out how. If you can't be an executive producer, go
That's
over there
okay.
anyhow. We
That's
have
fine.
other levels. You just don't get your name read on the thing.
You will get something from us.
And you will.
Matt Needham, where can people find your wares?
You can look on Instagram, Needham Guitars, Facebook, needhamguitars.com will hopefully be improved soon. But mostly Instagram, Facebook, and the Reverb store.
Cool. Excellent. Tony.
You can go to pickguardian.com and it has all my wares and goods, including the new limited edition Pick Guardian t-shirts.
That's right. We
Available
all got them
today.
Really cool.
Yes, and then, of course, the other social media.
Great. Jared.
If you need pickups or pickup repair, please go to brandonwoundpickups.com. And you can email me at Jared, Jared, at brandonwoundpickups.com. And my pickups last as long as I am alive. That's that. Well, I mean, I really screwed that up.
Yes, as soon as he's dead, the pickups
Yes,
just don't
they're-
work anymore.
No, the warranty is as long as I'm alive.
Yes. They're guaranteed. Okay. So anyways, hey, everybody, we'd like to remind you that Reverb.com is a marketplace just for musicians all over the world. You can buy, sell, make offers, and negotiate with complete protection. And you know what? This is the only place that truly is supporting boutique builders, boutique artisans, pedal builders, guitar builders, amp builders. There isn't another place online that you can find all these people that we support, that our show supports, that you like to listen to, that you're seeking. So check out reverb.com and get yourself some handmade gear from people off our show. Well, we thank you for listening and for stumbling along with us in certain parts. It's been super fun. We love talking about this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're grateful that you are out there listening and that you're sharing your thoughts and opinions with us. Please continue to do so. We love getting the emails and such. from you and on our socials, and keep it coming. And until then, subscribe.
Yeah.
We'll just.
He prefers tiny pedals, actually.
Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me right now. Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.